Hello everyone, this is Bill Meridian speaking again to you this time from Vienna, Austria on December 22nd, 2025. This is about Israel and the 2026 solar eclipse that is coming up in February. We have two websites now, BillMeridian.com and a new additional website, BillMeridianAstrology.com. Pay a visit. Here is the February 17th, 2026 solar eclipse. It is at 28 Aquarius 49. In the sign of Aquarius, which of course is ruled by Uranus, which is square to the eclipse point at 27 Taurus 32, certainly an upsetting combination. Let's look at some of the other combinations in this chart. Mars conjunct Vesta in 19 Aquarius. Now, my teacher, Eleanor Bach, a pioneer in asteroid research, said that Mars Vesta was vigilante action, defending your turf, your territory. The turf of the territory is Vesta. Mars is defending it. We also have in this chart Hades, Jupiter, and Kronos all conjunct with, I think, has to do the struggle between evil, Hades, and Kronos that is ongoing throughout the world. And then, of course, we've got the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 Aries, which I've spoken about before. It will be exact this month. Saturn-Neptune does correspond or coincide with scandals, and we certainly just had another big one out in Minnesota. We probably have some more coming up. Also, prices are declining. The price of oil is way down. It's about $55 a barrel. And thanks to the economic policies of the current American administration, prices are falling. That is gasoline, most foods, and so on. So Saturn-Neptune is still with us, still having an effect, and it will intensify into February. Here's the horoscope of Israel, May 14th, 1948, with Mars at 28 Leo 18, so that Mars will be opposed by the eclipse and squared by Uranus in the eclipse chart. Mars-Uranus, a sudden attack, sudden violent action. Uranus went over Mars in the national horoscope of Iran. When they had rioting there, that prediction appeared in the national magazine, which is the magazine of Abu Dhabi. Benjamin Netanyahu, Mars 26 Leo 44, his Zeus 25 Leo 00. If you don't know the Iranian system, Zeus has to do with directed energy, fire, explosions, any method by which we zoom around the planet. It could be a skateboard, it could be a tank, it could be an automobile, it could be a rocket, a missile. It's got to do with this irrepressible urge to express oneself in some area, which probably makes him a good military commander, because it is roughly square Kronos down here. And then we have a list of these eclipse hits. The eclipse 28 Aquarius 49, square transiting Uranus at 27 Taurus 32, Israel's Mars 28 Leo 19, Netanyahu's Mars 26 Leo 44 with Zeus at 25 Leo, Trump's Mars 26 Leo 45, chart not shown, and as Charles Jane used to say, breadth is essential. In mundane astrology, this is what he meant. If you have a number of charts being hit, it's like the pinball machine, where the ball is hitting all of these different points on the pinball arcade machine, and all these lights are flashing on and off. This is what he meant. So, there's another way to look at this eclipse. It is part of Saros cycle 121. Now, the Saros cycle lasts about 1,300 years. It consists of about 70 to 72 eclipses, each 18 years apart. So here are the Saros cycle eclipses, Saros 121, and you can see them. The last one was 17 Aquarius, previous 6 Aquarius. Well, each of these shadows of the eclipses falls back westward 120 degrees for every eclipse. So, in other words, it's 120, 120, and 120. 3 120s is 360. In other words, the same area on the Earth is shadowed by eclipses every 3 times 18 is 54 years. This may be the basis of the famous Kondratiev wave or the other 54-year cycles in nature. I don't know. So January 16th, 1972 is a key as to what might happen this time. We have to look back and see what happened at that time. And here's a summary of what I just said, and I'll give you an example. These eclipses are more important, the 54-year ones. Russia retook the Crimea Crimea about 161 years, 3 times 18, 3 times. In other words, 54, 3 times 18, multiply that by 3, that's about 162 years. This was 161. Russia retook the Crimea 161 years after the Crimean War. It was off by 1 year. So 2026, which is where we are now, minus 54 is 1972. Here is that eclipse chart. It was a 25 Capricorn 24. And this was the year of the dreadful Munich massacre, which took place at 9/5/72, September 5/72, 4:30 a.m. CET, Munich, Germany, in which terrorists killed a number of Israeli athletes who were participating in the Olympics. Notice the ascending degree is 29 Leo 32, Mercury is 29 Leo 23, and also note that the Sun is conjunct both Mars and Zeus. I believe they threw hand grenades into a helicopter in which the athletes were seated and bound. The dreadful tragedy. You'll notice Hades conjunct the midheaven. What is it known for? It's known for being a terrible and cruel tragedy. So the 72 eclipse at 25 Cap was 180 degrees to Israel's MC, 180 degrees to Vesta, which has to do with national security, and 90 to Israel's palace. And hey, there's Hades again. Acts of the devil, acts of hatred, acts of great evil. So, February 17th, 2026 eclipse triggers. January 2, 2026, Mars is 45 to the eclipse. January 28th, Mars is conjunct Pluto in the eclipse chart. February 28th, which is the one I favor, Mars goes right over the eclipse point. Of course, Mars is famous for triggering eclipses. March 4th, Mars parallels the eclipse degree. April 27th, Mars 45 to the eclipse. So I would say I'd watch that period very closely, late February, early March. And let's hope that this works out well, but it looks like it will be very difficult. Mastering Geopolitical Prediction, my 30 years of experience writing for Dell Horoscope, all in one book. Of course, the old predictive power of eclipse paths, all of the eclipse ideas developed by John Joe Jane and myself. And of course, there's In Search 1 and In Search 2, which was Charles Jane's magazine, 58 through 61. And then we have other products. If you care to go to the website and peruse them, please do. So this is Bill Meridian signing off from now from Vienna, Austria. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.